Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and welcome back to another story time. So Thanksgiving is tomorrow, so we are going to read a couple of Thanksgiving books and do a fun turkey craft. Are you all ready? All right, our first book we're going to read is a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. And I do want to thank Peanuts Worldwide for letting us share this book with you all today. Lucy always held the football for Charlie Brown to kick, and she always pulled it out from under him. It's Thanksgiving. She wouldn't try to trick me on a traditional holiday, Charlie Brown said as he charged at the ball. But Lucy yanked it away and asked, "Isn't it peculiar, Charlie Brown, how some traditions just slowly fade?" Holidays always depress me, Charlie Brown said as he checked the mail. "I know what you mean," replied his sister Sally. "Why should I give thanks on Thanksgiving? What have I got to be thankful for? All it does is make more work for us at school." Thanksgiving is a very important holiday. Ours was the first country in the world to make a national holiday to give thanks. "What are you going to do on Thanksgiving, Charlie Brown?" Linus asked. "Sally and I are going over to my grandmother's for dinner." Ring, ring. "Hi, Chuck. This is Peppermint Patty. My dad said I could share Thanksgiving with you, Chuck. And remember that kid Marcy? She's going to join us, and Franklin too. See ya!" 3 guests for Thanksgiving, and I'm not even going to be home? Moaned Charlie Brown. "You simply have 2 dinners," Linus said calmly. "Cook the first one yourself for your friends, and then go to your grandmother's with your family for the second one." Charlie Brown's dog, Snoopy, was ready to help. First, he set up a table and lots of chairs in the backyard. "Okay, Snoopy, that's pretty good," Charlie Brown said. "Come on inside. We need some help with the food." What kind of food do you think they're gonna have? The kids set up an assembly line to make Thanksgiving dinner. Charlie Brown and Linus put bread in the toasters. When the toast popped up, Snoopy spread butter on it. Then Snoopy raced around the kitchen making popcorn and filling bowls with jelly beans, potato chips, and pretzels. Soon everyone arrived. It was time for Thanksgiving dinner. Does that look anything like your all's Thanksgiving dinner? Mine neither. "Before we are served, shouldn't we say grace?" asked Peppermint Patty. Linus stood up. In the year 1621, the Pilgrims had their first Thanksgiving feast. Elder William Brewster, who was a minister, said a prayer that went something like this: "We thank God for our homes and food and our safety in a new land. We thank God for the opportunity to create a new world for freedom and justice." "Amen," said Peppermint Patty. On each plate, Snoopy proudly placed 2 slices of toast, a pile of popcorn, a handful of pretzels, and lots of jelly beans. Then he sailed each plate down the table like a frisbee. "What blockhead cooked all this?" Peppermint Patty asked angrily when she saw the funny food. "Don't you know anything about Thanksgiving dinner?" Charlie Brown got up from the table and sadly walked away. Poor Charlie Brown, he worked so hard on that dinner, didn't he? "You're kind of rough on Charlie Brown, weren't you, sir?" Marcy asked. "Rough? We were supposed to be served a real Thanksgiving dinner," replied Peppermint Patty. "Sir," asked Marcy, "did he invite you for dinner, or did you invite yourself and us too?" "I never thought of it like that," Peppermint Patty admitted. "Marcy, maybe you can go to old Chuck and patch things up for me." Marcy found Charlie Brown inside. "Don't feel bad, Chuck. Peppermint Patty didn't mean all those things she said. I just feel bad because I ruined everyone's Thanksgiving, said Charlie Brown. But Thanksgiving is more than eating, Chuck. We should just be thankful for being together. Peppermint Patty peeked into the room. Apologies accepted, Chuck, old boy. Sure, Charlie Brown said. Good grief, it's 4 o'clock, Charlie Brown said. He called his grandmother and told her that all his friends were still there and that none of them had eaten dinner yet. So she invited everyone to Thanksgiving dinner at her house. Hooray! Cheered the Peanuts gang. They piled into the station wagon and began to sing. Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. Back at Charlie Brown's house, Snoopy and Woodstock decided to celebrate Thanksgiving on their own with a turkey dinner and all the trimmings. Happy Thanksgiving! So, what are your all's favorite things to eat at Thanksgiving dinner? I think mine is probably the stuffing. I think that's my favorite. Or maybe the mashed potatoes. Alright, so before we move on to our craft, we have another little book. It's called The 5 Silly Turkeys. I'm going to need your help counting in this book, okay? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 silly turkeys dancing on the floor. One twirls away, and then there were 1, 2, 3, 4 silly turkeys being chased by a bee. One gets stung. Oh no. And then there were 1, 2, 3. Good job. 3 silly turkeys enjoying the view. One falls asleep, and then there were 1, 2 silly turkeys getting some sun. One gets burnt, and then there was 1 silly turkey looking for some fun. Happy Thanksgiving, yelled everyone. Good job, guys. So we are gonna go and get started on our craft. So for our craft, we are gonna be making a cute little turkey footprint and handprint craft, okay? So what I did to start out is I got my footprint and I used paint, so I painted the bottom of my foot and then stepped on a piece of paper and I let that dry and then cut it out. You all don't have to use paint though. You can use markers or crayons or colored pencils, whatever you want, and I'm sure it'll be less messy than paint. But you'll just need your footprint, and you can color it whatever color you want, but I did brown. And then you'll need some hands. So I traced my hand 3 times, and I colored 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 orange, and I cut those out. And then I glued them together for my turkey feathers. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start. So I turned my foot upside down just like this. And we'll go ahead and put the eyes and stuff on first. So you'll just find where you want your eye to be. And you can either draw it, or if you have googly eyes, you can use those. So I'm gonna use my googly eyes. You all know I like those. And then I have a little turkey beard that I cut out just from construction paper. You can either cut it out or you can draw it on there. But I'm just gonna put some glue and stick it right about there. And then I cut me a little beak out of orange construction paper. I'm gonna glue that right on top of the beard that we glued down, right at the top, just like that. All right, and then you're gonna take your feathers or your hands and figure out how you want them to be on your turkey. Just right about like that, and then I'm just gonna put some glue down all the way up through here, just to make sure it sticks good. Then I'm just gonna glue my turkey down. And there you have it, your own cute little foot and handprint turkey. So be sure to send in your turkeys because I would love to see them, and I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. Okay guys, I forgot I had one more book to share with you all, and this one is called "'Twas the Night Before Thanksgiving" by Dave Pilkey. "'Twas the day before Thanksgiving, and all through the trees the fall leaves were spinning aloft in the breeze. 8 children had boarded their school bus with grins in hopes that a field trip soon would begin. They sang as they rode through autumn terrains, while visions of drumsticks danced in their brains. Over the rivers, through woods, with winding and weaves, their school bus sailed on through the new fallen leaves. When out on the road there arose such a clatter, they threw down their windows to see what's the matter. When what with their wondering eyes should they see but a miniature farm and 8 tiny turkeys, and a little old man so lively and rugged they knew in a moment that it was Farmer McNugget. He was dressed all in denim from his head to his toe, with a pinch of polyester and a dash of Velcro. And then in a twinkling they heard in the straw the prancing and pawing of each little claw. More rapid than chickens, his cockerels they came. He whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Ollie, now Stanley, now Larry and Moe, on Wally, on Beaver, on Shemp and Groucho. The turkeys were chunky, with smiley beaked faces, and they greeted the children with downy embraces. So out through the barnyard they ran and they flew, and they gobbled and giggled as friends sometimes do. Would you all like to have a turkey friend? Then somebody spotted an axe by the door, and she asked Farmer Nugget what it was for. With a blink of his eye and a twist of his head, the old farmer told a grim tale of dread. Uh-oh. Tonight, said McNugget, these feathery beasts will be chopped up and roasted for Thanksgiving feasts. Oh my goodness! The children stood still as tears filled their eyes, then they clamored aloud in a chorus of cries. Oh dear, cried McNugget, now what shall I do? So he dashed to the well and the teacher went too. And they fetched some water fresh from the ground in hopes that a swig might calm everyone down. And when they returned to quiet the matter, the children were calmer and mysteriously fatter. The boys and girls drank up their drinks in the hay, then thanked old McNugget and waddled away. Look how much bigger they are. What do you think happened to them? They limped to the school bus, all huffing and puffing. It's not easy to walk with hot turkey stuffing. Whoops. And then as the school bus drove off in the night, McNugget looked round, not a turkey in sight. "'Twas the night before Thanksgiving, and the stars up above shone down on a school bus abounding with love." The very next evening, 8 families were blessed with 8 fluffy Thanksgiving turkeys as guests. They feasted on veggies with jelly and toast, and everyone was thankful. The turkeys were most. So each one gave thanks for love and for living, and they all had a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. The end. So they saved the turkeys. All right, guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I will see you back next week.